We have a major update on the boardwalk at Bricktown Tower Complex, also known as the Legends Tower. So here is the OKC City Council meeting for the voting on the height of the Legends Tower and how long it will take to complete the project. It is the last and final vote for the height limit to be removed for the tallest skyscraper in the Western Hemisphere.
11D is an ordinance on final hearing that was recommended for approval, rezoning 4 East Reno Avenue from PUD 692, SPUD 1326, and downtown parking overlay in downtown scenic highway area to SPUD 1613 and downtown parking overlay in downtown scenic highway area. Councilwoman Nice, no one has signed up to speak.
Thank you. This is the moment we have all been waiting for.
It has arrived.
To see how tall we can get.
1,907 feet. Mark Sitzow, Johnson & Associates, address is 1 East Sheridan. With me today is the developer and the project team to answer any other questions. 3 years ago, we brought forth a SPUD to get the zoning approved for the project to start. Since then, a lot has changed. The vision's become much larger and the project's become much more exciting. And so with that, that required us rezoning to remove the height restriction that was placed in that original SPUD. So the SPUD before you is identical except in 2 ways. The signage language has been removed and replaced with what will become the most detailed sign package that needs to be submitted that the city's probably ever seen, that the Planning Commission will ultimately approve. There's no billboards permitted, there's no non-accessory signs permitted, but what we will have to do is resubmit an entire sign package that shows every sign on the project and the LED lighting with visuals from every direction on what the proposed impacts would be. That has a public notice with it, and that'll go back before Planning Commission at a later date. The other change was removing the height restriction, which brings that in line with the rest of downtown, which does not have a height restriction. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, but we would ask for your approval.
Come on, y'all don't have questions? Okay. I will say this first. Thank you all, because I did, and you all, I've expressed this before, even yesterday morning. I did have some unease with us looking at the sign requirement with the last conversation we had about signs that went pretty lengthy, and we were told that we wouldn't see anything further pertaining to signs, but yet we did. So grateful that you all said, we'll scratch that and we'll bring it back. So this is strictly for us to look at the height as he talked about. People have asked me often, what do you think about this development? I mean, sky's the limit, no pun intended. But when you look at the ways that this is our entertainment district, for us to be able to see how we can improve the ways that we create tourism and attraction to our city. I think most of us would say we are in agreement with how we do that. So with that, I haven't really seen any, I can't recall if we've received any feedback for this not to happen. I know some folks are a little nervous to see how this could be built, but other than that, I've heard most people say they're okay with this and want to see it. So pertaining to what is presented in front of us, and I know they'll still have to go in front of other restrictions and requirements as far as this height is concerned, I will go ahead and move for approval of this application.
Councilwoman Nice, if you don't mind, I did think of one question.
Okay.
What's your construction schedule for the 1,907 feet building?
So that's phase 2. I think Rob or Scott can answer the full construction schedule, but that is the second piece of the development. The piece that fronts Reno will be phase 1.
Good morning, Rob Udetti with AO. For the second phase, the hope would be to start in a couple years, and it'd probably take about 3 years to build the second phase of that project. So the hope is to actually start construction on the underground and basement or below grade parking as soon as possible, and then move into the 3 towers, and then the 4th tower would come later. So probably 5 years for it to come online.
So it sounds like it would be aligned with the arena.
Pretty close to it. That's where I was doing the math in my head too, so thank you.
Can you, let's go backwards. Can you give us some set where we were and how we got here? So at least folks understand, because we've already been through a phase of this. So I think it's important for us to really understand what this particular vote is for today.
Sure. So this vote is specifically for the SPUD that seeks to remove the height requirement. When this project started 3 years ago, a new SPUD was filed for this property that set forth certain requirements and certain allowances for what was three buildings and underground parking. Since then, the developer reworked some things, new architecture team became engaged, and they came up with a new site plan. In that time period, I know there was TIF discussions and other presentations. Our office was not involved. We brought forth this application just for the zoning. So the vote today, really at this point, is simply removing the height restriction from the prior SPUD. That's the only thing in this application.
You asked if that changed my mind. No, because you're going up, but we're trying to take care of folk on the ground, and I'm not inspired that we have I don't have the confidence, is what I'm saying. So, but hey, I wish you well, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, we had a motion, which we can now implement virtually. There we go. We got a motion and a second. Cast your votes. Passes 8-1.
Thank you.
All right, item 11.
The link to the full OKC Council meeting is below. This will become the tallest in the United States, or tallest in the Western Hemisphere, and the 6th or 7th tallest in the world. Compared to the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, as you can see here in this illustration, the Legends Tower will be about 810 feet shorter, but it will be around 131 feet taller than the One World Trade Center in New York City. Here, you can see where it will be built at with the red arrow, and here, you can see where the new Thunder Arena will be built at. Once the towers and skyscrapers begin on the construction, visitors from around the world will be coming to the area and see the progress, and hopefully, they will visit Frontier City as well, so they too can see the drastic changes at the park and see what type of ride is being installed for the 2025 season and beyond. That is all I have for this major announcement. Hopefully more will come out of the park as the days and weeks get closer to that big announcement. Till next time.